I use Facebook as well, and not because I work for it. Who monetizes on Facebook? So who actually makes money on Facebook? Hands up.
Used to.
Okay, used to.
Used to.
Okay, cool. We have a session coming up. We're gonna deal with that. Who uses Instagram on a day-to-day basis? Cool. And who posts reels on Instagram? Cool, perfect. So this is perfect. Like, you kind of messed up my presentation because we usually do this, and then only one or two people like put their hands up, and then I have to give the importance of reels. So I'm going to talk about why reels. We're going to talk about how to make a reel, how to go from making good reels to perfect reels. But what I usually like saying is that reels can unlock huge growth potential for creators, including more opportunities for creativity, discoverability, audience development, and monetization. Natalie will talk about monetization, but if you think about it, let's say you have 1,000 followers. Who has 1 million followers over here? More than 1 million followers. Okay, what's your handle? I'm really interested.
My Facebook.
No. Yeah, Facebook, or who are you?
Imagine they do comedy, I have 3.something million followers. And I have another page as
Never heard of
My
it.
point is, let's just by show of hands, who kind of has like between 1,000 and 10,000 followers?
Where? On all platforms?
All platforms, just like all, yeah. Okay, who has like over 100,000? Facebook, okay, perfect, so a lot of hands. And then who over, like let's say between 200,000 and close to 1 million? Facebook, okay, cool. So a lot of Facebookers here, a lot of people with lots of followers. But I think the most important thing when people ask me why reels, it's the easiest thing is, it's sort of, yeah, it gets you in touch with an unconnected audience. So people don't necessarily have to follow you to see your reels. They can go to the Reels tab, if you use the trending to watch reels, that's why they come onto the app. So yeah, someone who started with 10,000 followers, by the end of 60 days had 25,000 followers. So just something to keep in mind. And then all of you would have seen by now, we just recently introduced Facebook Reels, so you can post your reels not just on Instagram, but on Facebook as well. So I'll just play a quick video. This was our announcement video. So maybe a quick question before I go through this. Has anyone ever posted a reel on Facebook? Yeah. Anyone in the room? Cool. Just maybe a quick question. Not directly, yeah. Cross-posting. Yeah, directly. Okay, cool. Maybe let's start with directly. How was the experience? Did you get, yeah, how was it?
It's like completely different engagement from Instagram.
Lower, higher?
Lower mostly. But
Okay.
there's like one video that didn't like do so well on Instagram. Like 2 videos out of 10, 6
Sure.
out of 10 actually do better on Facebook.
Okay, cool. Interesting to know. And anyone who's cross-posted a reel, from the Instagram account to Facebook?
And Instagram did better.
Your Instagram did better? Okay, cool. How much better, if you don't mind me asking?
Significantly.
Astronomical.
Significantly. That's it.
Okay, cool. So I'll have a look at your account as well. But the idea here is just, it's an opportunity to reach an audience you wouldn't necessarily have reached otherwise. So I like to say to people, don't look at it as though, I posted a reel on Instagram and I got 1 million views, and then I posted it on Facebook and I only got like 10,000 views. I think the way to look at it is, you posted a video, you got 10,000 extra views. You wouldn't have normally gotten if you hadn't had the close posting function on. So if you don't have that function on, don't worry, we'll show you how to put it on. But yeah, the idea is here you have another audience you can tap into if you're not already. And then great reels. Everyone in the room produces reels, but we like to use an acronym sort of as the ingredient to good reels. The first one is relatability. So any reel you post has to relate to your audience. You want to express a different perspective. You want to engage in conversation. The best reels let go of your fears. And the last thing is you want to surprise people. and I'm going to go through each one just in a bit now. The first thing we usually talk about is relatability. So, for example, like I do these presentations quite a bit, and it's always funny. Let's say you're delivering it in South Africa or you're delivering it in Nigeria. You post a reel, for example, and the example is of a creator in the UK. Everyone just kind of looks at you like, what the hell are you doing, right? Because it's not relatable. I think while we are a global community, the idea is that when you watch a video, you want to see a bit of yourself in that video. Whether it's a fashion video, comedy, a cooking video, in that 15 seconds you want to look at it and think, oh no, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it, I can relate to it. So that would be the first ingredient. Whatever video you make sure you relate to your audience. I know there's a huge comedy scene in Nigeria. What, any comedy creators here? Just by show of hands? Okay, cool. And
You.
maybe
I really romantically.
yeah, man. Maybe not as comedy. Any fashion creators here? Any fashion creators? Okay, cool. Yeah, have you ever worked with a local fashion sort of like designer in your reel?
Yes.
And how did it do? How was the engagement? Did people know who the designer was? What was the response?
It did very well. The interactions mostly is what brand are you wearing, and sometimes it's tagged so they can easily reach out to them.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. So it's one thing, even though people know what Louis Vuitton is, Cartier, whatever. I've found like when you post like with brands that people might not be the biggest brands, but it's a local brand. Like you say, people are inquisitive. They want to ask you, where's that brand from? They follow that brand. So that's the first thing you want to think of. You want to relate to your audience and just make sure when they look at your video, they can relate to it in some sense. The second one is you want to express your perspective, and I think this is pretty important. So we have different content genres, right? Comedy is comedy, fashion is fashion. If you're a vlogger, you're a vlogger. But what sets you out from everyone else is the idea that you're expressing like a unique perspective. And sometimes you don't even have to say anything. So does everyone know Khabi Lem? Yeah. So yeah, of course we were with him at Creator Week in London last week. It was absolutely amazing how he said, like, so he's on Instagram as well, does like very significantly well. The idea that he doesn't necessarily have to say anything for you to get his perspective. He puts a video and then you react to it, that famous hand gesture of his. But you're able, he's able to kind of express the silliness of sort of like life hacks and show you, why a particular life hack might be silly. Anyone know Josh Tufani? Yeah, cool. Josh is a cool guy as well. I was with him in London last week. But all of you know Josh started the Don't Leave Me challenge, right? Yeah, so Josh started that. It eventually went on to America. People were disputing who started it, but if you know, you know. Yeah. Josh started, So Josh started that challenge. And I mean, you're taking part in trending challenges, so there's something that's trending every week. But the only thing that puts you apart is that you're expressing like a different perspective in the trending challenge as well. So even though Josh started that, it eventually was exported to America, different parts of the world, and the only way, people were able to get eyeballs on their content is that they made the hashtag their own. So just something to keep in mind. We want people to use trending sounds, trending videos, but the worst kind of content I tend to think of is just like lip sync content. Nothing wrong with lip syncing, but if there's a popular video and all you're going to do is literally just reproduce it like frame by frame, then you're doing something wrong. Just make sure you express your perspective. The last few ones I'll go through quite quickly. Engage in the conversation. Like I said, you want to take part in some sort of trend, so make sure you're contributing to a conversation. Let go of your fears, so just have some fun, and then surprise people towards the end. People shouldn't have a look at your video and think, I know how that video is going to end. And so yeah, like I said, we have different creator communities. There's lifestyle, sports, beauty, comedy. You just need to sort of like find your way and find like which one fits with you. We have dance, food, and educational content. But the point of this is, even though a lot of people do different things, you should be able to say, I'm a dance creator, I'm a fashion creator, I'm a comedy creator. You should have some sort of vertical that your reel sort of like aspires to. I've been speaking for quite a while. Everyone still with me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. So content to avoid when you're making reels. The first one, and I think this is the most important, Don't use any content that's visibly recycled from other apps. So avoid third-party fonts and watermarks. I think you guys know what I'm alluding to.
That's why I told you that.
Yeah. So sometimes people will make videos from certain apps and then they post them on Instagram. So don't do that. So don't do that. It immediately sort of like registers as low quality content. But also, I think we have like a very good suite of editing tools. We want you to get into the app and have everything you need on the app. So, long story short, make sure you use the editing tools, within the app. Make sure you don't include video or pictures that you don't own the rights to. I think this is very important. So use our music library. Sometimes it might happen. Has it ever happened to anyone? You might do a video and then you encode the sound before you upload it. And once you upload the video, you get a content strike. It tells you, you're not, this video is invisible in maybe Russia and whatever, so don't do that, because, make sure you use the music that's within our music library, because that's music like you have the rights to use. So yeah, you don't want to post a video, it gets 1 million views, and then suddenly the audio doesn't exist anymore. So something to keep in mind. Don't use content that includes music not from a Facebook or Instagram's music library, or it's not original audio you create to find in Reel. I think that goes without saying. And make sure you don't have any interrupted, exaggerated, misleading, or vague titling. I think I see this quite a bit. Like sometimes someone might post a video and it's just like, oh my God, this is the best video you've ever seen, and then it's like 1 million emojis. So avoid that as much as you can. And then the last two are sort of self-explanatory. Make sure you don't post anything that's blurry due to low resolution. And then please, 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 don't post horizontal videos. Don't post horizontal videos. Like a very good reel just sort of like fills up the entire screen. Make sure you're shooting vertical. Make sure your reels are optimized for the app. So don't post any horizontal content. And then remixing. Has anyone ever used the remix function? Okay, cool. What did you use it for, just out of curiosity?
Why did I?
Yeah, what did you use it for?
Oh, I wanted to reply a friend.
Okay, cool, sweet. Anyone else use the remix function? Who's how did it go?
Yeah, it was actually nice. First time I used it, it was good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Got the interaction you sort of expected.
Well, yeah, it was a trend. So, but I'm trying to use it subsequently. I'm trying to get other people to use it, show other trends, to get my followers to use it, but we haven't so far.
Okay, cool. It'll pick up. I mean, just something to try and error. But I think something to keep in mind, it's an easy way to get people to engage with your content. So remix, if you don't already, it's like you post a video, you put the remix function on, and then people can use your video to create another video. I'll play the video now, but that's essentially how it works.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Nina, and I'm going to show you
Nina.
remix your reels. Select the reel you wish to remix. I'm remixing my friend Spence's video. Tap those 3 dots on the top right hand side of the video and select remix this reel. Hi! So you can create your remix reel in real time and use that record button to do so. You can also edit and tailor your video to whichever way you see fit by using these tools on the left hand side right there. Or you can do what I did and use a pre-recorded video from your camera roll uploads. Also, as a reminder, only newly uploaded reels have remix enabled. If you want to remix an older reel, all you have to do is go to those 3 dots, and when the menu pops up, enable remixing.
Cool, so that's remixing. Like essentially allows you to share your own spin on a reel in a split screen format. The most popular reason people use this for reaction videos. You know what I mean? Someone will post a video and then they react to it. And then you can control whether your reels can be remixed or not. That was the tutorial. If you hadn't done it already. But yeah, just something to think about. It's a good way to get engagement. So if you haven't, allowed your reels to be remixed, give it a try and let us know what happens. So we have like 10 minutes left. I'm going to talk about how to make your reels distinctly your own. Like I said, you want to make sure like you have a perspective that no one else, sort of has. So we're going to talk about how to make your reels uniquely you. And so there are a couple of steps. You want to have a concept, you want to capture it, and you want to level up. So I'll talk about these in detail, but the idea is you want to start with an idea and get ready to roll. You want to capture it, so record and upload the clips, and you want to level up, so you want to bring your reel to life with creative tools. I have a question more so for the Instagram creators, because I know like the Facebook creators here, like you guys usually like have a team that follows you around, you create that content. For anyone who uploads reels, like does anyone here ever actually sit down and decide beforehand, you know, where you're going to shoot, what your reel is going to look like? Anyone in the room?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So maybe tell me sort of like the most recent reel, like you know, that you had to sort of put together.
Okay.
How did you come up with the concept? What tools did you use?
So I create a lot of content on social media marketing, online, different tools, Instagram tools and all that. So what I do first is I write a mini script.
Sure.
You know, just draw an outline. I'm going to talk about this. Just write little bits of all that. Then, depending on where I want to shoot it, or how I want to shoot it, how I want to tell the story, you know. So if I'm walking, I could just walk and do that. If I'm sitting, I could just sit maybe with a good backdrop and just shoot. You understand? So everything I do, I would have planned however I want to do it, whatever transition I want to use, whatever it is, I would have planned all of that before I execute.
Cool. And,
Yeah.
and that's not for real, right?
No.
Sorry, it was a joke, yeah. So yeah, I just noticed. Anyone else? Yeah, maybe anyone else who scripts the content? Like, yeah. Yeah, and how long does it usually take you to script a reel? It's 15 seconds, but I think people usually underestimate how long
We
it
talk.
takes
Yeah.
to put a video together.
Yes.
It's 15 seconds, right?
Yes.
So I've found sometimes even with fashion creators,
Thanks.
you know, there's a guy I was with called What My Boyfriend Wore, South African creator. He essentially did like a transition video, so it was 5 outfits. It took him a day to conceptualize it, like put together the script, where he was going to shoot, you know, what outfits he was going to put together. And it may sound like work, but I think you always notice like what reels, you know, you can always notice when someone puts some effort into their reels. And so I'd encourage you, if you're sort of shooting on the fly, that's cool as well. But put some thought into your concept as well. And then capturing, by show of hands, who shoots with a DSLR, so like a camera for the content, a digital camera. Perfect, absolutely. Give yourselves a round of applause. My thing is, I have no issue with people who shoot their reels like with a professional camera, but the idea is that it's supposed to be easy. You know, you have all the tools you need in app. So yeah. I always say, like, if you can, where possible, like, shoot with your phone. It's the simplest thing. Like, get a tripod, get some good lighting, come up with a concept, but shoot with your phone. Because if you shoot with your phone, it's sort of like, it takes away that extra barrier of having to, you know, get a camera and then importing it into a, you know, just shoot with your phone. It is a mobile app, so, and then it gives you access to all of our tools, so shoot with your phone. And then the last one is just bring your reel to life with creative tools. I've noticed people usually like text, so that's fine, but I think there are other effects you can use, just, you know, the filters themselves. Just have a look at what's trending at the time and put it in your videos as well. I just want to talk about concept a little bit and go through a bit of the reels. Yeah, a pro tip is if you guys want to see what's hot on Reels, you can check out our Reels Trends Report. So that's available online. I'll share the link with everyone. But the idea is that, you know, you can't always sort of like create from the fly or on the fly and think about stuff. This will give you an idea of what's trending, what to have a look out for. So I'll just share that with everyone so you can have a look. I'm just gonna skip this. Cool. So yeah. When you're coming up with concept, there are different concepts you can come up with. The first one is sharing your life. The second one is behind the scenes. Sharing your life is sort of like vlog type content. I think that's the easiest people know about. So for example, I was at Metas Creator Day in Nigeria. This is what happened. This is who I got to meet. Use the text function, keep it like 15 seconds and beneath, 15 seconds and lower. And those usually like do really well. Or behind the scenes, if there's a video you're shooting and you want to give people insight into how you put that together, that's another sort of concept you can tap into.
You ready to go back inside?
No. There is this thing I always see all Americans, they are doing this. I want to do it today. I don't know what they call it, but it goes like this.
Like this. Oh.
I've always wanted to do this thing. I've been waiting. I'm doing it. What do they call it?
Snow angel.
Snow angel.
He did his first snow angel, guys.
Cool. Very short video. I think it's very creative, cool thing. And I'm first time seeing snow and decided they want to capture the moment, but in a very funny way. And this, shot through the phone, this doesn't even have that many effects. This doesn't even have that many effects, just the text function. So that's one concept you can come up with. Another one is sort of behind the scenes. I'll say this really quickly.
With fire.
Cool, so if you're putting a video together, sometimes it helps to put together a bloopers reel, what went into making that video, because you have the content anyway. It's just a good way to make some supplementary content.
You ready to go?
So another thing I said, you want to make sure your reels are relatable. Another content format is sort of like reminders, affirmations. So for example, like this is really huge in South Africa as well. Like people who post those like daily motivational videos. So here's a piece of motivation, in the morning. Those do like exceptionally well. So that's another concept like you could potentially like plug into. Top picks as well, like do well. This is Nabila Karim. She's a South African-based creator. She put together her top picks for an outfit. I think fashion creators like this content format quite a bit. Tutorials and tips as well. I think that goes without saying. If you give people tips about how to do a certain thing, how to use a certain effect, that always does well as well. Education videos do well. Mythbusters and tapping into like a certain cause. This is a creator called Niger Fudu, right at the end here. Nigerian creator currently based in London, but she's a cook. But she was talking about how a certain ingredient that she uses in the food, like talking about the history, the health benefits as well. So this is a Nigerian creator based in Canada. I'm not going to play the entire thing, but it's a content format you could use as well.
This is stockfish, an ingredient as essential to Nigerian soups as water is to fish. An import of Norway, the Biafra War of 1967 gave stockfish the foothold it has in present-day Nigeria. Donated by Norway for rationing in the war zone to combat malnutrition, an excellent source of protein with zero need for refrigeration, it was definitely nutritionally important. Stockfish simply is open-air dried codfish. The distinctive pungent smell comes from the simple processing technique applied. Think cold.
So this one is quite long, so I'm going to pause it. But yeah, that got 2 million views, if I remember correctly. So yeah, if you have a certain cause you're passionate about, make sure you put that out in your videos. If they're mythbusters, for example, 5 myths about setting boundaries, 5 myths about living in Nigeria, whatever. Yeah, you might want to do like a mythbuster video, and education always do well. Education always does well if you want to teach people something.
This is
and then you can co-create as well. If there's a particular dance, for example, that encourages like co-creation, make sure you do that with someone, because no man is an island. Make sure you create it with other people. Replies and remixes, I think we spoke about earlier on, but I like this quite a bit, like co-creating, either putting together an outfit with someone, doing a dance with someone, and I'll just play this video quickly as an example.
Another one, 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 another.
Cool. So yeah, that was about the natural hair trend. When people say natural hair is versatile, and then the different sort of like hairstyles you can put together. So always try to co-create if you can. And then the last one is you always just want to make sure you're using creative tools to make your reels shine. A few facts for you guys to take into consideration. It takes a second for people to form a first impression of your video. It takes 4 seconds for people to engage with mobile advertising and trigger an imprint. And how you want to pull the videos within the first few seconds to convince your audience your reel is worth watching. And that's what I always say, like always start with the, with the action. Like, so no foreplay, don't like 4 seconds in, like you're still introducing the story, like immediately jump into, what the gist of the story is, because you essentially have 1 second to form an impression. And think about how it is that you scroll. Like you'll scroll, you see something like a second or so, it doesn't appeal to you, the visuals aren't captivating, you'll immediately scroll past it. So the idea is have a strong opening, you have 1 second to form a first impression, and usually 4 seconds if you're selling something for someone to engage with mobile advertising and trigger an imprint. The idea here is that time is of the essence. It's short form video content, usually 15 seconds, but even within that 15 seconds, people don't have the time to sort of like go through something that takes 7 seconds to introduce the plot. So form a good first impression and make sure your videos are on point. That's essentially what I wanted to share with everyone. Please give me a round of applause. Cool. So it was condensed quite a bit, but yeah, I mean,